The first couple of days of the Second Weltkrieg have passed, so it's time to take stock of the situation at the front lines, adjust where needed, and look at the overall strategy for 1940, the rest of 1940, and potentially 1941. Let's begin with von Rundstedt's summary and see how the armed forces on the ground were doing. Thanks to our superior intelligence and us knowing exactly when the French were going to attack, just not where, we may have provisioned too many troops on the Western Front, but as it stands, the French have utilized mostly World War I tactics and have run large number of troops against the fortifications. So they've gone over the top and moved over open ground towards German fortifications, probably not expecting the readiness of the troops. Especially the Battle of Dunkirk has seen horrendous French losses. But also in Liège and other lines on the front where German troops were holed up in forests, in fortified positions behind concrete walls and barbed wire with minefields and everything. The French so far have taken 21,000, estimated of almost 22,000 troops lost from the initial assaults. That said, we're not yet ready to move our troops. First of all, the German divisions at the line are holding relatively well due to the fact that they are dug in this well. If we were to move out into the open, that would be a completely different scenario. So for now, on the Western Front, we will hold the line until we know more about how the rest of the front lines are going to behave. Because we have more conflict theaters. In the east, obviously, we are waiting for Russia to start. And if we're looking at the just pure troop numbers, I think we're probably roughly equal. So I would expect that the German troops being dug in, despite the fact that there are far fewer of them, hopefully can stand against the Russian onslaught. That said, there are areas like the central area here north of Cherniv, which are somewhat weakened, and they are not actually supported by local troops. Although what we're expecting to happen is that the Ukrainian troops at the front line, once they get pushed back by the Russians, will fall back into the fortified positions that Germany is holding in the rear. And they are going to then join us in the trenches. So for now, we're holding a line at the edge of supply here to secure the airport, the vital airport on the front line, and to make sure that the Ukrainians have some lines to fall back to. So in other areas, we've used natural features like the river lines here, as well as here on the line of contact to reinforce. And I don't think the Russians will break through, although they do have some troop concentrations, especially around Dvinsk here, that look like they're poised towards a potential breakthrough. The big question will be how the air situation is going to turn out. Yes, we're actually not holding Narva, and I think the reason for that is that this would cause us to hold lines that are actually inaccessible, lest I take some troops out of the lines here. But maybe I'll just take one division. We'll take the 5th Königlich Sächsische Infanteriedivision and give them a separate line at Narva. So, where was it? This one. We'll send them there and get them to dig in before the Russians coming, just to reinforce the local troops and make sure that there's no breakthrough in the northern flank here. But yeah, not making any sudden movements in troop reallocations or unit reallocations until we know how the Eastern Front is holding. In the south, Georgia is an interesting question. Georgia is part of the Reichspakt, so we are going to need to effectively take the divisions of the 11th Army, and we need to expand the front line here eventually to cover all of Georgia. For now, we don't have enough divisions to do this, but once additional troops will arrive, then we will expand the lines and at least hold central Georgia. Until then, the Russian forces are relatively meager. We have seen a tank division, but I doubt that they can necessarily break through. For now, Azerbaijan is the more important part to hold, and hopefully the Ottomans can assist here as well. Potential another front in Bulgaria, where Greece is about to kick off the Second Balkans War, or the third at this point. We have lost count, so there's another potential here for something to happen. Right, so for now, we're training up more troops and getting more divisions ready to assist with to bolster the various fronts, and we'll not make any moves until we know how the Eastern Front is behaving. In the north, Sweden, northeast, Sweden doesn't look too great. That is, are we finished with this, or is this still under construction? I think that is still under construction. That's going to take until January 1941, and at that point then they will have supply in the north, but we will need to reinforce that at some point. The rest of the Norwegian front is cracking very quickly under the assault of the specialized Gebirgsjäger troops, and we should be taking Oslo within a day or two, and then push further west to cut off the rest of the centers here, which will widen the front lines for a potential invasion from Great Britain. But so far we haven't seen much of the British. We've only seen a few infantry divisions on the French line, so we don't know exactly where they're operating. Second, the air situation under von Richthofen. So we were somewhat surprised by the appearance of Syndicalist bombers over German land. It seems that instead of trying to take the air over the Low Countries, where there are currently just a few planes engaged, they have mostly sent their bombers into the Nancy front, where they're trying to do some damage. So on this line here, over northern France, is where the major air battle currently is happening, and they're using long-range planes, presumably from England, to hit the infrastructure over Lower Germany. Obviously, trying to launch a terror bombing campaign against Berlin. And the fact that some Spitfires were seen over the Channel and over the North Sea, but had to turn back because they probably don't have the range to get in there, means that our interceptors should have a field day here in taking down the bombers without too much trouble. But regardless, what we're going to do is we're going to realign the heavy fighter wings, and we're going to control them manually to launch probably from Essen, which is a rear air base, but should be sufficient to cover the whole line, and make sure that that their job is going to be to intercept any kind of incoming bombers and make sure that nothing happens there. Do we have the radar coverage? We should have sufficient radar coverage. We're building an additional radar station in Brandenburg, and we obviously do need to improve the radars overall in order to get better efficiency out of that. But we're going to pull any kind of we're going to pull all the heavy fighter wings over to Essen, and we're going to assign them to interception missions and make sure that this terror bombing campaign doesn't get anywhere over the home countries. Because obviously the public perception of the war is such that the empire is indefeatable, and that means if the population gets an idea into their heads that that's not the case, that would be a bad thing. So we definitely do need to make sure that panic doesn't spread, and for that the heavy fighters will be realigned. The other thing, given that the French are Syndicalists in general are concentrating over concentrating over the northern France region, but they are not bringing the full weight of their air force to bear. This is a good opportunity for us to enact Operation Paula and wear down the French Air Force before we start any kind of offensive moves. So we'll be concentrating all fighter wings over the northern French air zone, and ensure that we can do as much damage to the French in the air. Start together with the Allies. We have a couple of planes from friendly countries operating here. So that's planes from Sweden. The Swedish Air Force operating in Germany on the Western Front, whereas the German Air Force is operating in Sweden. So with the help of the Allies, we'll start wearing down the French Air Force, or the Syndicalist Air Force over northern France before we start any kind of major operations. We've had some success with sinking enemy shipping using the torpedo bombers. Even the old biplanes seem to be quite successful in hunting submarines. So given that the Condors are equipped for naval attacks, I will probably start sending them out to hunt enemy shipping, and instead of scouting. Which brings us to the sea. Reports on the sea under Erich Raeder. The initial strategy of challenging the British in the western approaches has been repulsed by significant British commitment of escort forces and air force towards this region. The submarines have proven to be surprisingly valuable, surprisingly vulnerable against aircraft. So we are going to for the Unterseebootflotte. We have moved them, directed them out of the western approaches, and we will cover instead everything from the Iberian coast to the Norwegian Sea to cut off any kind of supply from the Syndicalist allies in Middle America and any potential trade with their Syndicalist brethren in the United States, former United States, the Soviet states of America. And we'll not deal with the western approaches just yet. Until we have a sufficient air force available to deploy in Ireland and to assist there. Now the Irish Isles are somewhat vulnerable here towards an invasion from Britain. The Irish, however, are bringing their divisions home, so hopefully that works well. Talking about bringing divisions home, there is there are numerous British task forces operating in the English Channel as expected, which isn't a huge problem. Unfortunately, the Cubans have decided against our advice to not send their troops the long way around through the northern waters, but have decided that they would risk rushing the Channel and are obviously being attacked by submarines, and they are without escort here. So the escort group generally has the problem of lacking escort efficiency due to, if we can find any, of lacking escort efficiency due to the relatively low numbers that we're fielding. So one possible solution to that could be to remove the southern Atlantic forces, and instead get all the trade go through, because the Suez Canal is not yet repaired. Get all the trade going through the Ottomans and then over the land routes. The danger that poses is that this would expose our trade routes to a Greek incursion into Bulgaria. So until we've got the Bulgarian front secured in the south, that is probably not something we'll attempt just yet. In the North Sea, we are currently playing a game of cat and mouse with the enemy cruisers. There are a couple of smaller groups underway, smaller carrier groups underway off the British coast that might be a really tempting target. So we've spotted the Deuxième Région Navale from the French Navy off the coast of Newcastle, And this might be a target that we could attempt to intercept with the first Schlachtgeschwader. The risk obviously being that this could draw out the home fleet from the British and turn into a defeat of the first Schlachtgeschwader, which we would have to avoid at all costs. Intercepting cruisers so far has been unsuccessful due to the speed of the cruisers. So it is quite imperative that we get the second Schlachtgeschwader operational. Although the second Schlachtgeschwader, it does contain the Elsass, which reduces the overall speed somewhat. Scharnhorst, Gneisenau, Tirpitz, the Kurfürst, and we've got von der Tann and Moltke. The Rheins are... close a couple here. I think the Rheins are relatively quick. The Rheins are relatively quick, and the destroyers obviously as well. So the only ship in the whole group that slows us down is the Elsass. So we might actually pull the Elsass out for now into its own group, and not have her engaged just yet. And that removes a fair amount of firepower from the group, but it would turn the second Schlachtgeschwader into a significantly faster force, and that gives us 8 capitals to 19 screens. That's still not enough screens, but we are rapidly producing more screening ships. So. We've got a Rhein class coming in November, and we are building Zerstörer 1934 ships as well as screens, and I think for that, that'll slowly improve the size. What we could do alternatively is drop a few of the older ships here, so Gneisenau and Scharnhorst, and reduce the overall number of capital ships to make this a fast raider group. This increases the risk of them again being engaged by the home fleet, but with 30 knots I'm reasonably confident that we might be able to escape them, and this could be quite valuable in hunting down cruisers in the North Sea. So far, the Baltics, there seems to be not much from the Russians in any way happening in the Baltics. So I think we're going to get Scharnhorst and Gneisenau, which I think are the older. No, actually, they're all at the same. Let's have a quick look. The von der Tanns are, I think, the more. Yeah, these are the battle cruisers that we've built. So we've got 19 screens. So if we just take one ship out, let's take the Scharnhorst out and leave her with the Elsass. That reduces us to five capital ships and 19 screens. That is a manageable size, and that could get the second Schlachtgeschwader. We'll move them to Schleswig-Holstein for now, or maybe to Wilhelmshaven. Let's move them to Wilhelmshaven, and we'll see if we can get them engaged in cruiser hunting, because that is the significantly faster force. I'm kind of wary to risk the first Schlachtgeschwader simply because these ships are very, very slow. So they can probably be overtaken by the potentially faster British home fleet. Let's have a look and see if we can find out anything about what do we know about the Royal Navy. Not enough. What do we know about the French Navy? I think we have better intel about the French Navy. We do indeed. They have the Bretagne class, which only does 21 knots. So there's not really a threat from the French battleships, but even those things are already faster than, even those old things are faster than the first Schlachtgeschwader. So we'll have to be very careful with not risking the first Schlachtgeschwader, simply because it doesn't have the speed to disengage if it gets overwhelmed by combined French-British forces in the region. So, how do we solve the English Channel problem? I think we will set it to avoid, and we will try to add it as the we'll add it to the Geleitflotte's coverage, the Geleitflotte that is already overstretched anyway, and we'll see if we can manage to assist beleaguered transports that decide to go through here unless that is starting to cost us too much in terms of shipping. So no further development in the east. However, in Indochina, as it turns out, we can actually just join the war because I forgot to click on it. We'll not yet do that, but I'll be waiting for the not the 5th, for the 12th Army under Paulus to arrive to move over from Ceylon and to arrive at the fallback lines in the north here. How's the supplies here? We should have supply here. We should have reasonable amounts of supply here. So we'll move here. We get Paulus to move here, and once he's in place, then we'll join the war against Indochina, and we will see what we can do here, and if we can finally end this war, because Indochina actually has joined the war of the communards against the German East Asia. So reinforcing German East Asia is again priority for us as well. So we are going to need, how many more divisions can we make? About 50 more. We are going to need definitely more divisions than that. So let's start training up about 20 divisions and see that we get to it. All right, intelligence operations currently ongoing, infiltrating the Russian Air Force and preparing a collaboration government in France. And I think everyone else is building intelligence networks. Yes, so we're building up our intelligence networks over the communards and in the Moscow region as well. All right, I'll be back. Last things, what happened? The Netherlands want to join, and I think did I just click that away? I'm not sure what happened. I thought the Netherlands wanted to join, but yeah, the Russian Republic is justifying against us. We know that. And I'll reorganize the Air Force, and then I'll be back, and we'll continue on this road after the first initial clashes of swords have happened. Okay, everything's organized. We do have to trade with the Austrians for some additional aluminium. Aluminium is starting to become a scarce resource relatively quickly, so we'll see if there are. I don't think there are any decisions just yet to get additional resources. But once I think the excavation techs are getting there, that should start eventually. Eventually, it should start unlocking things. So we also need to get the fuel refining 3 done to get additional oil, because we are currently running a deficit on oil, so we don't want to trade too much away. But the planes are moving into their new positions. I'm concentrating all the heavy fighters around Essen and Berlin to cover the approaches from the French and the British incursions, and to make sure that we shoot everything down that's there. I will try to cover for the Cuban convoys, but I have my doubts that this is going to work too well. And I think we do have a naval bomber wing. Yes, we do. It's the second torpedo bomber Gruppe, but they don't have quite the range yet. Although if I move them over to Amsterdam, unfortunately the Dutch seem to be not in the war just yet. So we'll move them over, and then we might have range to attack British shipping in the Channel as well. Meanwhile, yeah, everything else is in good shape. So we'll focus offensively on the war in Sweden for now. And there we have some air support here. So we do have to take a bit of a look on where we are actually engaging. These are submarines that are still being chased away by the British. Let's hope that we're not getting too many losses there. We have the Geleitgruppe, unfortunately. This is the Geleitgruppe chasing away enemy submarines. Okay, so the Geleitgruppe has engaged. This should be the Cuban convoys. I think they are Cuban convoys. Yes. So the Geleitgruppe has engaged. There are potentially some French ships in the region, however. So we might have to. I'm not sure if they will in turn join the fray here. So we'll have to keep a close eye on this battle in the English Channel and see if the Geleitgruppe can chase the submarines away, and then they will have to retreat before the French cruisers are getting here, and in turn take on our ships. That's why I was not planning to do this, because we obviously don't have coverage from the main fleet against these kind of cruiser incursions. And we might lose some of our old destroyers in these kind of operations. Convoy raiding efficiency is relatively low because we are currently looking at repositioning the submarines. But in fact, the escort efficiency is actually sufficient. So I think we're actually good in terms of escorting the ships along the trade lines here. So hopefully things like the battle in the North Sea here, where we've actually lost some freighters, aren't really going to repeat that quickly. Okay, these are just some. Oh, there are some. What are we fighting here? Some very powerful British divisions here. So we do have to be a little careful. Especially, they are attacking also into the fortified positions, here. Can I see how fortified? Game? I cannot. Okay, that's fine. We're breaking through near Fredrikstad. We'll just have to make sure that we're not losing the positions here. So I'm going to leave one of the mountain divisions behind to hold, and one to push actually north behind the British lines, and we'll see if that can cause some disruptions there. And the other two are going to move into positions near Oslo. Okay, Oslo will need. We're engaging the Norwegian defenders in Oslo, which are relatively well dug in there. So we are going to probably need both divisions. To make that happen. So let's once we take the position south of Oslo, then we are going to we're going to join the effort there. All right. Let's first see how the battle in the English Channel. Before we do anything else, how the battle in the English Channel is going. Yeah, the destroyers have to disengage. They have chased away the submarines, but they are now in turn gets chased by a French cruiser group. And again, I'm wary to commit the first Schlachtgeschwader here. The second, however, I don't think they can make it there in time. They're almost in Hanover. So right now we're not covering the English Channel. So we would have to give them their own fleet if I give them the separate order, and I want to prevent the first Schlachtgeschwader from actually engaging. What are they currently doing? They are intercepting, or they're actually out intercepting something. What have we found? The first Schlachtgeschwader is on the chase and is intercepting a Norwegian, by the sound of it, a Norwegian group. Yeah, that's 12 Norwegian ships have been spotted by the second Aufklärungsgruppe in the eastern North Sea. So what I'm going to do is I am going to extend the range into the British Channel for now, and we will risk getting the second Schlachtgeschwader engaged, and we'll see if maybe they can join here, but hopefully they can retreat if necessary. All right, so that's that. Meanwhile, things are going to be a little slow because there's a lot of stuff going on and we have to manage. So I hope it doesn't get boring. The return of the Polish-German military mission. Officers of the military mission in Poland have returned to Germany, and Guderian and Wolfgang von Kries being the most noteworthy ones. They have spent the past year in Poland as military advisors and organizers for the king, and it is largely their achievement that the Polish army boasts being the best disciplined force out of our Eastern Slavic allies. Now their work is complete, and Guderian is offering his services to the fatherland once more. 25 army experience, and Guderian joins the empire. So he would be probably available as either a general or as a field marshal. There he is, Guderian. He's a maneuver genius and guerrilla fighter, armor expert, armor leader. Yeah, he'd be good to take over the tank forces. Currently the tank forces are headed by von Kluge. So let's compare the two quickly. He is an armor expert as well. So would it be making sense to replace von Kluge with Guderian? I don't think so. I think he might take over the eastern front lines if necessary. All right, research available. What have we? Oh, we've got planes. Planes were finished researching. Good. Many things that need researching, and so little time. We are researching the improved radar. All this needs to happen at some point. This needs to happen as well. This needs to happen. These are almost there. We're a bit behind on the anti-tank role here. We're definitely behind on the naval roles. Getting active sonar would be quite interesting as well. We also need to get the advanced ship models researched for potential future wars. I think the first thing we're going to do is construction 4. Be good. But fuel refining is more important. I'm going to go with fuel refining for now. So, because I just want to get that going. We've got a couple more research slots becoming available. So there's a lot of stuff happening. We have divisions available, 2 infantry divisions. They need to reinforce the southern line here. So that would be 11th Army under Kurt Hase. So these divisions need to go there and reinforce that line for now. And that would be Dornier, which we are using for, I think, for the Heinkels. Yeah, that's the only one we're using Dornier for. Yeah, so we focus completely on medium aircraft. We have so far production efficiency gain and cap would be kind. But I think we're doing good in terms of production. Plus 10% ground attack, some speed, naval attack. Not interested. This eventually leads to this needs both of them. So we need to go down. We need to go down these trees anyway. So we can get either 10% ground attack for 5% production cost or 5% max speed. I think the 10% ground attack is the more impactful right now. We're going to need to do that one just to get down to the branches here anyway. So we'll do that for now. We'll not upgrade the design because we now have a new airframe. So we can redo the, we're going to redo a lot of the things. The scout planes are fine. The Heinkels, I think, and the Bf-110s need to be replaced at this point. All right, so we have the. Let's make sure we are decommissioning everything. The Bf-110s are going to be decommissioned, and the Heinkel 111s are going to be. Actually, no, I'm not going to decommission them yet because I'll probably leave a small production line just to. Oh no, we can decommission them. We'll just that'll give us a good indicator. I'm going to leave a small production line to convert the last remaining airframes so they can be used in combat. But we are going to design a new medium bomber. Okay. What did the what did the 111 look like actually? How did we set that up? Where is it? Heinkel. Too many planes. There it is. Heinkel 111C. So 2 bomb bays, 2. What are these? LMG turrets? Yes, 2 light MG turrets, self-sealing fuel tanks, and twin engines. Okay. So we're gonna design that similarly for starters, and then see what else we can fit in here. Medium bomb bays, twin engines, but more upgraded ones. Yes, Dornier. So apply everything. And then we had self-sealing fuel tanks, and we had defense turrets. Let's see, we've still got a fair amount of thrust to work with here, so I'm pretty sure we can fit... Oh no, we can actually not fit another bomb bay in there, alright. Let's see what else we can fit in here then. So we can upgrade them to twin heavy machine gun defense turrets. We could... that would be just for CAS, so it doesn't really make a... would I be able to use... I could put anti-tank cannons on these, actually. So right now, if I'm going to use them in the close air support role, they have a ground attack of 14. So if I put the anti-tank cannons in there, that would be exhausting our weight already, but almost double the amount of ground attack. Alternatively, I could use a small bomb bay. Let's see which one's more efficient here. It's the same amount. It's the same amount of. It's the same amount of ground attack, but the small bomb bay is better in terms of weight. So the anti-tank cannon 1 is not quite as good, simply because it causes 8 weight, whereas the small bomb bay is more efficient in 4 weight. But that would also mean we're not going to be able to fit the defense turret. So right now, how are we comparing to the... Where's the Heinkel 111? I'm going to have to go for outdated Heinkel 111s. So right now, we have more ground attack. We've got even with 1 heavy turret, we've already got more air defense. So one heavy turret might actually be sufficient. We've got more air defense, so and we've got better range. So I'm thinking to put the small bomb bay in here, and so additional bombs until we potentially have better anti-tank cannons that we can use for ground attack role. That gives us. That gives us a weight of 35. We could put this. No, that's too much. We could put 4 LMGs in there, just for additional air attack. But I think we're good with the defense turret. So alternatively, we could put armor plates in these, but that would push the weight over it again as well. So. Not something we can easily do. Neither the fuel tanks. She's got 1,100 kilometers range. The Dornier 217, which should be good to go. So we'll roll with that for now. That is the Dornier 217 base model, and we have a bit of air still to potentially upgrade that further down, and we will get significantly better ground attack out of these than we get out of the Heinkels. So we'll save that. And then we are going to be in need of another variant of the veritable interceptor, the BF-110. Right now we've got 4 heavy machine guns. We've got a lot of 1 set of heavy machine guns and 3 set of LMGs, and extra fuel tanks and these. So let's see what we can come up with out of this improved airframe. So we will start out with heavy machine guns, and we'll put also twin engines in here. We're going to go with self-sealing fuel tanks. And we do have a good range of 1,100 kilometers. I don't think we need the extra fuel tanks. Honestly, I'd rather go for additional firepower. So right now, let's see how many guns we can fit into this thing. If it is on, doesn't make a difference in terms of weight if what mission we're on. So we definitely have space upwards. I think the cannons are not actually, the cannons are not classified as CAS weapons, so they are not actually there. They're just for ground attack. I think there were there? I think there were modules. These cannons is what I'm talking about. So that's something we are going to need to research. So for larger, right now we're just going to outfit it with machine guns, but potentially for a larger set of guns on these. So with that, we are fully equipped on that. And if we compare that to the BF-110, we're going to have to find the BF-110C1, I believe. There it is. We have better air defense, significantly higher air attack, better agility, and we don't have quite the same range, but we're faster, and I think that is range is going to be enough here. We could look into putting armor plates on these things. Nope, that would get us over the thrust to weight limit. So I think for the Junkers 88, that is a good set. Do I have the radar set for night fighting? No, unfortunately not yet. So this is all, or did I move here? No, so that's not something we can do. There we go. And I don't have enough experience to actually do this. Okay, so we'll hold off on the Junkers 88 for now. We need 20 air experience, so we get back to that. But we can get the, where is it? Dornier something, the medium bombers. No, I can't even filter this. Waiting medium airframe. Okay, don't show me outdated, show me only new one. Dornier 217s, there, these ones. And we are building them obviously with Dornier. Dornier 217s, they will take over from the Heinkels. So we're gonna give them obviously 10. And we're going to reduce the Heinkel line down to 2. And the 2 factories are going to be eventually converting stockpiled HE111s into the latest model, if there's still some out there. Otherwise, eventually we'll shut it down, and the Dornier 217s can start ramping up. And once we have 20 air experience, then we'll get onto the BF-110s. All right, I think we have covered everything. Any decisions that I need to look at? Poland is loyal and stable. We could spend we can spend some political power of speeding up the Suez Canal to the Suez Canal shenanigans. But I am currently more interested in. This is actually this was quite interesting. This would give me 1 free special forces branch specialism. So the idea apparently being, I haven't used this before. The special forces branch is over here, so I could do 2 of them, which would be very valuable. So I think that is something we can do. We can also move up to war economy, but I think there's a focus for that. So I'm already at extensive conscription, so that's all good. I don't really need to change any of my advisors at this point, so we can start freely using the political power for other things. So diversifying the elite forces sounds useful. I'll just do it so I don't forget it. And then we can spend some political power on speeding up the Suez Canal. Repair measures. All right, I think the most, how's the air situation looking right now? We should be, so we've got 9 fighter wings out of Luxembourg, committed to air superiority over the French region. We are, I think, now matching, we are about matching the enemy in number of a number of planes over the northern French air region, which is quite impressive. Mission efficiency could still get better, and we'll be starting to shoot down a fair amount as we go. We also have, I think that's all the these 9 fighter wings is all the fighter wings we are committing right now. The tactical bombers are committed to the Low Countries while the French aren't looking. And I do have 2 tactical bomber wings here, which can do ground support on the Low Countries as well. So any kind of attacks along the northern line, the northern half of the line, we will take, while the fighters are fighting it out over northern France. And yep, this looks all good. Naval patrol wings are chasing anything that floats in the eastern North Sea. And the air situation over Sweden, however, is not looking great. So it looks like the Syndicalists have, the British have reinforced the air over, have reinforced the Norwegian region, which means the Kampfgeschwader can no longer operate with impunity and will be grounding them for now. And that means that our offensive, unfortunately, is starting to run into potential problems here, because we will now be fighting under enemy aerial superiority. We are going to get we're going to get the first Gebirgsdivision to join the fight again, to join the fight in Oslo from the south, and we can support the assault here from the north against Fredrikstad, where 2 enemy divisions are very, very well dug in. My gosh! So that fortified position near Fredrikstad probably needs to be isolated before we actually, let's abort the assaults here, and we'll isolate them before we launch the next assault. So the British forces are formidable, and Sweden is going to run into trouble here. They have again supply issues in the north near Trondheim, and obviously on the other border here. But Sweden might need to be reinforced sooner rather than later as well. Also, we need more oil. So let's trade for more oil from Azerbaijan. Probably 2 more factories. There we go. And we are still short on aluminium. We'll just trade from Austria. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to start building up some more aluminium resources. Meanwhile, feeble French attacks against our reinforced lines across the line of contact here. I think they're trying very hard to take Belfort here at this point. We have Flanders Wallonian troops here as well, but if we're looking at, they are trying very hard to take Belfort, and they're taking horrendous losses doing so. So we will see how that ends up. This is obviously in the northern France region. So the northern France region is really where it's going to go down, and we will see how the Bf-109s and the Focke-Wulfs, which are sort of, and we still got some Bf-110s engaged here. We shouldn't have. I think the Bf-110s should all be covering the regions here. So Lower Germany, we've got 4 wings here. This is interesting. So okay, we've got 2 on the Rhineland and 2 on Lower Germany. That's why. Okay, so that's all good. These are just support planes that are trying to do ground missions here, and these are the strategic bombers coming over from Britain, which have a very low mission efficiency, which we will be shooting down as we go. So, and we've got another wing of we've got another group of heavy fighters coming over to Berlin to assist with that. We've got the 11th Jagdgeschwader, which we're moving over to Luxembourg to help out from the Eastern Front, given that the Eastern Front is not yet engaged. And how is the situation in the channel? The destroyers are trying to retreat. I don't think anyone has taken significant damage just yet, by the looks of it. And the second Schlachtgeschwader is still on the move, to hopefully try and help out here. We will move them to, I did say to move to Wilhelmshaven, please. And the Elsass and Scharnhorst are going to sit in port for now, just to make it combat effective. Yeah, the channel is interesting. We've got submarines hunting convoys and the war, and we've got screening groups chasing away submarines. How are our own submarines doing? We are retreating. We're almost out here. Haven't on the western approaches. Obviously, haven't managed anything. And we have. Oh, there is a. Oh, that is interesting. We have got a battle in the North Sea happening, and in the upper North Sea, it looks like the French have seen their submarines under duress, and have brought what have they brought? Three light cruisers, a heavy cruiser, and a carrier. A converted battleship hull, the Louise Michel. They're engaging one of the scouting groups and some of the destroyers here who are running a fighting retreat. We have lost the SMS S323, which was one part of the escort group. It's been sunk by the Narbonne, which is one of the light cruisers, and we've got the SMS Bremen here and the SMS Berlin. Both of them are disengaging. We have not sunk anything, unfortunately. So again, this would be a task potentially for the second Schlachtgeschwader if they can make their way there in time. So we will include the North Sea for now to allow the Schlachtgeschwader. Yeah, second Schlachtgeschwader is engaging. So if we are, yeah, they will be engaging. I hope they will be engaging once they reach Hanover to refuel, and then we'll see if they can still engage before things are moving out. So that means probably we need to get the Aufklärungsgeschwader out of the North Sea routes, because we are getting too close to the British coast. I'm not sure if the second Schlachtgeschwader is still going to be able to engage, but we will see what happens. So let's unpause this and see who is moving where. And we are disengaging here. So far, the Berlin, the cruisers are in good shape. The destroyers as well. It looks like just one destroyer got hit by that surprise attack. The French have taken slight damage on the screening destroyers, but they're obviously planes in the air as well. And the first naval battle, we have lost 10 destroyers of the escort group. These were the ships that were trying to intercept the. That were trying to support the Cubans, I believe, or not even that. So the escort group has taken significant damage in the western approaches, and that means we are going to cut out these regions from the escort lines, and we're going to close these to naval traffic because they have been hunted down by French cruiser groups. And that means the Atlantic routes are significantly more dangerous than they generally should be. The French cruiser groups hunting in the Atlantic, while not having cover from the Schlachtgeschwader, is unfortunately a bit of a problem. And we will see if the second Schlachtgeschwader is going to be able to engage with the French groups that are with the French group that is attacking our escorts here. But yeah, this is generally a strategic dilemma that we have. That we do have trade that needs to be going through that goes through the Atlantic. I think it's time to cut all trade through the Atlantic. We'll close the Cape, and that means we'll remove the escort. We'll remove the escort from from all of the Atlantic regions. No more escorting. Only things that go go between in the Baltics and the North Sea, and we'll close the English Channel as well. So we've taken our losses here, but we are definitely going to I'm going to remove the English Channel here. I don't think the second Schlachtgeschwader is going to get there in time. They might be able to get to join the battle in the North Sea, but we will see. So right now it's just the submarines operating in the region, and they can potentially we'll need to wait for them to organize themselves. But the escort groups, the Geleitflotte has taken some losses. So our globalist approach of securing the trade routes around, and we can remove these as well potentially. No, we'll leave this in. So trade routes need to go through, since the Suez doesn't work, they need to go through the land route at this point, and that means only the submarines are operating out of Ireland in the open Atlantic. Right now, the French and British navies have too many, especially cruiser groups, that are hunting down our escort forces, and that is not going to work. All right. On the ground, we have encircled the British near Fredrikstad, so we can now begin the assault, and we're going to get all these groups to attack the encircled British near Fredrikstad. We are running the attack against Oslo, with the first Gebirgsdivision still about to join the Alpenkorps in trying to dig out the Norwegian defenders here. And we'll try to push north a little bit as well. But definitely the arrival of a significant amount of British air forces is going to cause us additional trouble here. So while we are fighting in the air region over France, how is it looking there? We are starting to slowly wear down the enemy. We're trading 1 to 2 in terms of fighters, but we're also shooting down a few bombers. We'll see how this will turn out, and we are shooting down enemy bombers, significant numbers over the Rhineland and over Lower Germany. Once the skies are clear, we can move the heavy fighters out more freely. We've got 2 fighter wings on the Eastern Front that are currently not otherwise engaged. It might be possible to temporarily. No, they're not going to have the range. We would need heavy fighters to cover Norway. So for now, we'll take it as it is. We might take Oslo and then dig in for now, and see if we can have some opportunities. Unless that was all the British had in the region. Once we've destroyed the encircled British division near Fredrikstad, then we might be able to, let's see how that looks. Yeah, they are encircled. There's no escape for them. And supply-wise, once we take Oslo, the situation is going to improve. We have good supply here. The situation will improve. All right, naval battle. It looks like the first Schlachtgeschwader has found a Norwegian group. Yes, that's what they were hunting. So the first Schlachtgeschwader has found a Norwegian group, and I'm going to have to slow that right down because otherwise I'm not going to be able to catch up with all the battles going on. So under the lead of the Lothringen, we've got 6 battleships, 1 heavy cruiser, and a good amount of destroyers and light cruisers, hunting a small group of French screening ships consisting of 9 destroyers and 2 cruisers, as well as a bunch of submarines. We've already sunk the Troll, was sunk by the Preußen, But in terms of overall firepower, we are definitely having the advantage. The larger German force is still getting into position, but we should be able to inflict some damage and some hits onto these relatively quickly. Yeah, the Stord is already sunk. Yep, there she goes. No, it wasn't the Stord, it was the Freuer, sunk by the Westfalen. And yeah, the Norwegians are turning tail and trying to escape now that the German big guns are in position. And we're even getting we got some reinforcements, I think, from some of the from some of the scouting groups. Yeah, we've got the Emden and the Breslau. No, this was part of the original group. Anyway, so we've got this battle going on. We also have. We're also still being hunted in the western approaches, but I think our submarines should be able to get away. We've lost a submarine to land-based aircraft, so we're going to give that a wide berth as well. And our ships, we have lost 2 destroyers against that French incursion here. So far, unfortunately, we will see if the second Schlachtgeschwader it is intercepting. Second Schlachtgeschwader is unfortunately intercepting a Norwegian force at this point, rather than moving north to take on the French. So I'm going to already remove the North Sea region from the Hochseeflotte. The Hochseeflotte is going to be contained for the time being, and we will see if we can manage to break out. And that gets us back to the battle against the Norwegians, which I think is the only naval battle that we currently need to look at. On the Bay of Biscay, what's going on here? We are being chased again by British screens here. So yeah, we've already removed these regions, and submarines are no longer going to be hunting there. And I think I'm also going to remove the Iberian coast. Yeah, we're just going to concentrate on Central Atlantic Gap and Mid-Atlantic, North Atlantic Ridge, and any kind of shipping that goes through here. We might see if we can take on the Norwegian Sea. But yeah, lots of enemy shipping in the area, and unfortunately for the Cubans, we're not going to be able to do much about this. And the fact is even our destroyers actually are being now sunk by the French. But maybe the sacrifice will allow the Cuban escorts, the Cuban transports to make their way out of there, because these are troop transports. So German destroyer captains bravely facing down French cruisers to save our Cuban allies. Sweden, there is some combat going on in the north here, but I think Sweden is having trouble here with Norwegian attacks. Hopefully, I don't think they can get through there though. The big problem here is again supply in the region. So we'll try to do as much damage as we can in the Oslo near Oslo. Where are the supply lines? Okay, this definitely needs to be. Okay, once we've taken the northern position there, we'll wait for the. We'll wait for the fight in Oslo to be over. In fact, I might actually redirect the force and then push towards Oslo. I think that's the better approach. And this division obviously only needs to support rather than engage. Okay, so that's happening right now. We are pushing the defenders in Oslo. It looks like they are holding strong here. Yeah, we're not getting through that very quickly, so let's open the front a bit wider and stop the attack for now against Oslo. We're moving troops in, and that division needs to, I think, assist here. That division goes around. Yeah, there we go. Once we've taken out Fredrikstad, we might also be able to get better supply out of Göteborg, but I'm not sure about that. Definitely the assault on Oslo is going to be pivotal, but the fact that we don't have enough air force in the region is part of the problem. We are seeing enemy bombers now over the Low Countries as well, but all the fighter wings, yeah, we've got some tactical bombers engaged potentially, but all the fighter wings of all the Jagdgeschwader are engaged over northern France, and we are starting to shoot them down in larger numbers, which is good. So that's happening, and the heavy fighter groups, yeah, we've got additional 3 additional heavy fighter wings over the Berlin region. So let's deal with the situation here for now, and you're going up for interception over there, and you all actually go up for interception as well. So that should mean that that will be taking. Yeah, we've got 5 heavy fighter wings up in the region, and they can take out the enemy bombers. The battle in the Eastern North Sea. I don't think the Hochseeflotte is going to have much trouble cleaning up the remaining Norwegian ships here. One of the enemy submarines has been spotted on the surface. The A4 has been forced onto the surface and will be taken out, hopefully. They've lost 4 destroyers already, and the other ships are trying to disengage. The Draug is sort of sacrificing itself to cover the retreat, but the Stavanger is already leaking very badly, and the two cruisers as well are have taken some fair amount of damage. All right, in the north here we are trying to retreat, and we'll see if we can get away without losing too many ships here. And the battles around the eastern approaches have been resolved. The submarines are making their escape in the Bay of Biscay, and the German destroyers are sacrificing themselves here in the channel to rescue the Cuban troop ships, and I hope the Cubans are appreciative of that. Other than that, the Ottomans are being chased down by British screening groups. Overall, and here we are getting away without too many losses as well. So I haven't inflicted any losses on the enemy so far. The British-French navies are too numerous and are controlling the seas around Great Britain, and are forcing the Hochseeflotte to retreat into a defensive position. We are in the air we are chasing things down. So what has just completed? I think one of the submarines. That means we are going to be able to replace the veritable Type 7 submarines. What have we used for the Schichauwerke for submarines? Okay, so we're going to get the Schichauwerke again. Yep, it's already engaged. And we are going to it's historical submarines. Yep, we're going to call that the Type 9 submarine, because we've skipped the 8 that was a prototype. Do we have any? No, we don't want to use the presets. Torpedoes, obviously. We have radar, so that's neat. We can use that, and torpedoes and more torpedoes. So the Type 9 submarine, max speed of 19 knots due to the amount of torpedoes that we have, but they do come with radar now, so they should be more efficient. They should be a bit more effective in finding convoys. So we're going to save that. We're going to decommission the Type 7s. Where are they? I think they're already decommissioned automatically. And we can, yep, they are. So we'll finish the last Type 7 submarine, and then we will start a Type 9 submarine line, which is going to replace them. So we're just going to put them below. There we go. And these will be, yep, just go to the theater and reinforce automatically. All right. Once the dockyards become available, everything else is looking good. couple of things that we could upgrade. We don't have enough air XP yet, and we are definitely we're definitely burning too much fuel. So having both of the Schlachtgeschwader out and about is a significant fuel factor of fuel consumption. We haven't even researched synthetic refineries yet, but that might at some point become something we need to do. Anyway, oh, the Schichauwerke actually had an upgrade. I have missed that. Is there anything important that we can take? I should have done that before the submarine. Anyway, what can we take? We can get high-powered engines for better speed. Deck guns, advanced sonar for better service. They have already radar, so that's fine. This leads down to better torpedo attack and production output. Have we taken this? High-powered engines? No, we haven't. So far we've got production output and torpedo attack. So we could get the advanced sonar plus 6% surface detection just to unlock the deck guns for additional hit points, more torpedo attack. Don't need mine, not interested in mine laying. So there is, that leads down to 5% torpedo attack. So yeah, we'll do this for now. I'm not gonna, yeah, we might as well. Okay, let's spend the extra 5 and that should have updated the template for the submarine. Could have saved that if I had paid attention. And that needs to be the Type 9 submarine. There we go. Okay, so now we've got that upgraded. All right. And we do have a lot of research that needs doing, especially around, we're already doing fuel refining. We could do extraction 3. That might free up some of the trade issues that we've got here. Especially aluminium is a lot right now. We might be able to lower that. I think we might be able to lower that. Okay. Regardless, excavation would be a possibility, but we're also short in so many things. These still need to happen definitely. Shell dies, yeah. Let's do how many naval techs are we currently are. I want to keep at least 1 on naval techs. So let's do this slot on naval tech. Research the shell dies, and I think we can use the Wilhelmshaven-Werft. Once we get more political power, I think the next step is going to be to set some projects for the some of the designers, because we've got a couple of things there that can come in handy. All right, I think we have a current naval combat. We're still trying to disengage in the North Sea. We are eliminating the Norwegian force here in the eastern North Sea, and we are trying to cover for the Cuban transports in the channel here. So let's follow the destruction in the eastern North Sea, where the Oslo has been sunk by the Rhineland, and so has the König. That means the whole enemy force here has been eliminated, except for the 7 submarines, which are trying to escape. So we'll see. We can leave that battle as is now. We will see if we can. We'll see what we can do there. These are East Asian submarines operating in the British Channel. It is not wise to operate in the British Channel with submarines, but who am I to tell you what to do? The French definitely have a fair amount of mobile forces available that are doing a lot of damage here to Allied shipping, and we will see how. Okay, that naval battle has over. We have lost, unfortunately, 4 ships in the defense of the six Cuban troop transports. I hope it was worth it, and these Cuban troops can make a difference on the ground. We have lost 3 convoys and 2 destroyers in the North Sea. And I think I have supply routes, unfortunately, going to Ireland, which is a bit of a problem towards Dublin once we actually put troops there. But it looks like and we have a trade route with Brazil. What am I buying from Brazil? Trade. What am I buying? I don't think I'm buying anything from Brazil. I'd be very surprised. The Germany East Asia should be a land route. That's tungsten from Germany East Asia, rubber from Germany East Asia. That's all overland. And Netherlands and United States of Great. No, I don't think I'm buying anything from Brazil. It could be that Brazil is buying from us, but that's their problem to secure. So right now we no longer have any Atlantic trade routes. All the East Asian trade routes are terminating in Yemen, and then are getting transported over land routes, which means we do have to secure Bulgaria at some point. And further French attacks near Belfort, which seems to be the piece of contention. This is where they're concentrating. This is where the air battle, and this is where the heaviest battles of the war are happening right now. So the Alsace-Lorrainian, yeah, that's kind of where they want to go. The Alsace-Lorrainian fortification have been damaged somewhat, and will need to be prioritized in their repair whenever there's a lull in the fighting. So prioritize the repair of that. The Kaiser Wilhelm needs to be repaired, and the infrastructure and railways, everything in Alsace-Lorraine needs to be repaired on the quick, on the double, especially the fortifications. So that takes priority. Let's get that done. The Chinese are sending us rifles now. No, actually they're sending us support equipment. I'll take it. And the Eastern North Sea battle against the Norwegians is the only one that's left, so we can ignore that for now. In the air, we are still hunting down enemy bombers with the heavy fighters and enemy support planes. They're already losing. They are already losing significant numbers here. So the heavy fighters should be able to do that. And how does it look over northern France? We are trading 1 to 4 almost in the air with fighters, and they are losing. They're actually losing more bombers to the ground-based AA than they are losing to our fighters. But that's because the fighters are mostly 100% engaged with the enemy escorts. So that's still anybody's game. I would love to get a better mission efficiency up here, but part of the problem is that the fighter wings just don't have the range to cover all of northern France, and as such it's less than ideal. Anyway, there's some support planes active over the Low Countries, but given that there's no combat going on along the lines of contact, that's not a big deal. So let's focus again on the Norwegian front, where we are getting the troops into position for an assault on Oslo, but you were supposed to support the attack from the north here in Fredrikstad. They are encircled, but they are dug in extremely well. So that might actually... Okay, please support the attack. There we go. That might actually be significantly more difficult to dig these troops out here than it looked previously. Oh no, one of the British divisions is already exhausted. So, and I just can't get the division to join the fight. So I'm just going to send them in the regular manner. This battle is still ongoing. English Channel. We have a major clash of friendly naval forces, which has drawn out the whole British home fleet. See, this is why I cannot engage the High Seas Fleet yet, because the British home fleet, with three fleet carriers, 2 battleships, 2 battle cruisers, 3 battleships, and a whole flurry of screening groups, is just too powerful to take on at this point. So that's why we are avoiding any confrontation with the home fleet as it stands, and we are just going to get we're just going to get the submarines to do what they can. We'll need to rebuild the battered Geleitflotte. So I might actually need a couple more naval bases. So let's just queue up a few more here and there to help rebuild the battered Geleitflotte, which has sacrificed massively to secure in the opening stages of the war. The air war over France is going on, and unfortunately, the fact that the British have aerial superiority over southern Norway is causing us grief. We may be able to. We might not need. We can probably spare 2 air wings from the Berlin coverage without losing too much. Without losing too much in terms of air defense. So we can take. Where's the Brandenburg? Let's bring the Nachtjagdgeschwader and the Zerstörergeschwader. We will bring them to. We don't even have an airport. I would love to, but we might be able to. We might be able to operate out of Örebro, of the airport. So let's move them north and see if they can assist with aerial superiority over southern Norway for the assault. Otherwise, we are just going to dig in here for now and ensure that we wipe out the British positions and then launch the assault on Norway. And Denmark joins the Reichspakt. Yes, please. You are very welcome. Willkommen in Denmark. Denmark has joined the Reichspakt, and that means we are no longer in need of that front line. The 4 cavalry divisions are going to stay as a goodwill measure and probably just assist with, well, they're not going to assist with anything. They need to be modernized. So for now, they're just going to stay in the Flensburg region, and we'll deal with that at a later stage. So yeah, crippling naval losses on the escort fleet in the opening stages of the war. The German destroyers have fought valiantly, but have been faced with the full might of the combined British-French navies, and had to bail out things on more than one occasion. So it'll be up to the High Seas Fleet to see if it can become effective again. The Aufklärungsgeschwader is restricting itself to the Eastern North Sea, and we want to potentially. We will include. This is potentially far away enough. Can include the Norwegian coast. No, it's too dangerous up there. We'll not do that yet. We've got some submarines operating in the area, but that's about it. And we will see how this ends up here. Meanwhile, in Germany. The Reichskriegsflagge is the war flag of the German Empire, officially intended solely to be flown at sea. Yet its fame among the German nation has led to it being widely adopted in national propaganda. It is especially beloved by the political right, to whom it is associated with the glorious victories of the First Weltkrieg and the national unity that they desire to replicate with their agenda. Now that Germany is once again embroiled in a world war, the question of using the Reichskriegsflagge has returned once more. This is the imperial war flag. Though the Schwarz-Weiß-Rot will remain the official flag throughout the conflict, we have the option of relying deeply on the war flag in wartime propaganda, as well as flying it in official instances and at the front, making it a de facto state flag. Alternatively, if it isn't to the government's liking, the peacetime tricolor can be maintained as a primary national symbol. I think given the evoking victory, and especially given that the Navy has not performed as well, has performed gallantly, but has not yet been victorious, raising that flag is going to work really well. So we shall adopt the Reichskriegsflagge for the duration of the war. And we are now sailing under the German naval imperial flag. I don't know if that has any effect besides being purely visual, but this is the flag we are now going to be fighting under, and that means the Battle of Friedrichstadt is almost over, and we are just going to move the mountaineers north. We're going to wait for the for this fight to be over, and then we can potentially actually expand the lines here, but that leaves us open to being cut. Nah, we'll focus on Oslo for now. So move the troops onto the lines north and near Oslo for an assault on Oslo, and we are just going to finish up the battle in Fredrikstad, and then destroy these encircled British divisions. This last encircled British division, William Slim and the Derbyshire infantry, making a last stand in Fredrikstad. But the first losses are definitely there. German submarines are one German submarine actually has been sunk by one of the escorting destroyers, so that's still happening. And Hawaii demands an intervention. An encrypted message has been sent to us informing us of the Union of Socialist American States' formal demands to see Hawaii returned and reintegrated. Implied in the demands are possibilities that military action will be taken to ensure their return. Thus, they have requested us to provide military support and back their desire for independence. That is a very, very interesting decision, and I think I'm going to leave that decision for the next episode, because this has the potential of drawing the Union of Socialist American States into the war against us. And do we want to, all over a far-flung island in the Pacific that the empire does not necessarily have any control over or that much interest in? That said, it would be bad for the imperial reputation if our allies in the Reichspakt see the leader of the Reichspakt effectively fall short of supporting the Reichspakt members. So that's, I think, one I'll leave for the next episode. So let's just review what happened here. Yeah, these are not ours, I think. I hope. Again, significant losses in the British Channel from friendly screening groups, and these are German East Asian submarines operating in the region, sinking convoys, which is good. But for our own wolf packs, the area is too dangerous, so we're not going to be engaging there. The Norwegian group has been decisively defeated by the first Schlachtgeschwader, and that hopefully is going to return to port, because we are running low on fuel. And that just leaves the decision: do we risk war with the States over Hawaii? And that is a question for next episode. That's it for me. Thanks, everybody. See you next time. Bye bye.